So this is just my brief demonstration of PostgreSQL. I'm going to be doing all of my work here for the demonstration inside of the SQL shell, which can be gotten after having downloaded the software from the PostgreSQL website. A lot of this stuff I'm going to be doing for this demonstration I got from this documentation as well. For time's sake, I simplified it here into this cheat sheet. So let me go ahead and pull up this database. There is a way to do it inside of a subsystem for Linux on Windows or a terminal on any Linux computer, but this helps bypass a couple of steps that are necessary, and you're automatically able to do all of your commands for SQL here inside of this shell. So for starters, you can do the simple create commands. You can create tables, part of the normal. I created a table called furniture, and I'll select everything in there so you can see that there's nothing inside of it. Name, price, and rarity are the three columns. I'll go ahead and add a couple of values in here. I'll insert a value called share. It shows that it inserted one value right here. It like updates you as you go along. I'll insert another value in here called table, or I will try to. Go. And I'll insert a third value in here called diamond. And if I select everything again, you can push the up arrow key on this. It's very helpful, so you can continue to go back to the previous commands, as many as I've typed in here so far, up and down to cycle through them. You'll notice that chair, table, and diamond are now in here. You can also do updates, of course. So say I wanted to decrease the rarity right here by 1 on every single row that had a rarity less than 8. It says updated it, and now everything is 1. And of course, as always, I can drop tables as well. And now if I try and select it, it's no longer there, and it gives me an error. You can also do joins, of course, too. So I've created a couple of tables in here from the tutorial called weather. Let me show them to you real quick. And cities. And if you download PostgreSQL, you'll see all the code that they did in order to make these tables. Of course, if I wanted to join, say, the two duplicate columns here that have the city names, I could just do a simple join command, and now the two tables have been joined. This is the same thing as before, just it eliminates the duplicate columns here and specifies the actual column type in the table itself. So whether that's city, whether that's Templo, cities.location, join on there, get the picture. You can do left joins and right joins, of course, too. It's pretty much the same thing as the regular join up here, the left outer join and the right outer join. And you can do a self join as well, find all the weather records that are in the temperature range of other weather records. So if I copy this, you can use aliases, of course, too, and PostgreSQL to make it easier so you don't have to type in weather.city. You can type in w1.city or w2.templo or whatever your alias is, and it gives you the result that you want. And of course, aggregate functions, max, min, average, things like that. So say I wanted to find the max temperature low from weather 46. As you'll notice, that is right up here as well. The weather, that's the max temperature low. I want to average out the temperatures and do that as well. So yeah, so pretty much all of the regular SQL statements that we've become familiar with are available in PostgreSQL, but there are a couple of other interesting things that PostgreSQL also allows you to do. Some of these can be found in Oracle as well, but a few of these have interesting labels in PostgreSQL, so I want to go over them real quick. You may remember this. You can create a view in here. So say if you want to edit a special table, but you only want certain users or certain people to view the table before it was edited, you can create a view of the original table as such. So I created a my view table, which is like what it looked like originally before I edited it. And then when I select my view in here, it views the original table. Of course, I didn't make any edits to the table, but if you did make an edit to the table, the viewpoint will view what the table looked like originally before the edit. This, as far as I can tell, is exclusive only to PostgreSQL, or at least this this technique of doing this is unique to PostgreSQL. This is called foreign keys. What basically you can do is you can have a you can not ins you can say that you can insert a value into a table, but if that value that you're trying to insert is not in another table, so for example, I wanted to insert the city of Berkeley, California into the weather table, it's going to give me an error because it says that Berkeley is not in the cities table. Any single time I want to insert anything into the weather table, I have to first insert it into the cities table. Otherwise, it will continually be blocked by this creating the table with this reference cities right here. And it references it back to this exact column in the cities table. Um, There's another interesting technique you can do here. It's called transactions. It's kind of similar to functions in Oracle, as you'll notice the begin right here. And the difference, though, is that you have to commit the change once you're done with it instead of there's an end sequence. This one is commit. So basically, they created an example here, which is similar to like a bank transaction. So I created this table from their example called accounts. So let me show that to you real quick. Basically, what that shows here is that this is the name and the balance of the accounts that they have in this imaginary bank. So suppose we debit $100 from Alice's account and credit Bob's account, only to find later that we should have credited Wally's account. What you can do is use these things called save points. So you'll notice here you update the account, the balance minus $100 where the name is Alex, and then you save it there. So then that's exclusively from that point onward the work is saved as like you're saving the game progress, if you will. You update the balance of Bob, but then you're like, oops, I forgot that, and use Wally's account so you can roll back to this save. It's like a checkpoint, if you will, in a video game. And then you can update Wally's account instead. So when I demonstrate that, the commit down here has to be done without the commit. That's basically it's basically the end of the function, if you will. So without that commit, it will not all of these commands will not work. So we'll go through here real quick. Select everything from accounts again. Now you'll notice Alice has lost $100 and Wally has gone up by $100, but Bob has not gotten a update at all. One final thing that I'm going to show here is a Windows function, which is window function performs a calculation across a set of table rows that are somehow related to the current row. This is comparable to the type of calculation that can be done with an aggregate function. However, window functions do not cause rows to become grouped into a single output row like non-window aggregate calls would. Instead, the rows retain their separate identities. Behind the scenes, the window function is able to access more than just the current row of the query result. And this is an example based off of a table that I created called emp salary, sorry. Select all from emp salary. So this is what it originally looks like, except for I added an extra row number 6, which was not in this example. So using this over command right here, you can partition by the department name on here, so you can showcase that it groups all of the departments together and averages them out according to that aggregate function right there. Well, I have to copy it first. And as you'll notice, it does pretty much the same thing as what it shows off in this example right here. So yeah, that's pretty much quite a few of the different details that you can use with PostgreSQL. There's a lot more in here. There are tons of different things you can use for this documentation. There's a lot of syntax, a lot of different queries and things like that. But for time's sake, I'm not going to go through that. But yeah, PostgreSQL is pretty similar to MySQL with some slight differences. And I think it's honestly easier to use than MySQL personally. So yeah, that's it. Thank you.